Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Mike Tellerino. I am the CEO of K9s For Veterans. Tonight I've got one of my executive directors here, Loni Noward, and Loni, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Good to see you, Mike.
If there's anybody who knows anything about shelters and transporting these pups to get them to a better life, it's you.
Well, thank you very much.
You've been doing it a while. Loni, we're here tonight. We want to talk about, I guess, kill shelters or shelters in general and why they're so overpopulated. What do you think that is?
Shelters are overpopulated. Fortunately, regrettably, the honest to God truth is that you just have irresponsible pet owners. You have people that get animals for Christmas, for birthdays, for whatever, and then they don't understand the full impact of what it takes to be a responsible pet owner, from health to food to everything that an animal needs for its life. They're not ready for that commitment of 10 to 20 years.
And a lot of these animals that are in shelters, some of them need medical attention.
Yep.
And the shelters really don't have the funds to provide all the medical attention that they need, and that's because of lack of resources that they have to help them with the funding, because that's a big issue. And what about a lot of people that are surrendering their dogs to Loni? What's up with that?
That's the same thing. They surrender the dogs because, animals make it in the shelter when an animal reaches the age, say 8, 9, 10 years old, and they start to have incontinence issues, and they don't want to deal with it, can't afford to deal with it, mentally, financially, whatever the reasons are. Everyone can come up with a reason, but there is, in my personal opinion, there's no acceptable reason. I mean, my dogs are my life. My wife and I actually have Caputo here. Come here, boy. Put your head up here. Come here.
What a cutie.
See, Caputo is here. We just rescued him back in October from All Those Left Behind rescue out in Morris.
And that's a great rescue.
Caputo weighed 47 pounds when we got him. We were told he was 14 years old and full of cancer. Well, lo and behold, he does not have cancer. He's not 14 years old. He now weighs 72 pounds. But to that end, what we're talking about, Michael, Caputo needed to have all his teeth removed. And that was a multi-$1,000 investiture we made. And when people asked about that, I said, if I had to sell a kidney for my dog's needs, I'll do what I have to. But that's me. That's my wife and I. That's what we do.
Keep your I think a lot of the issues that a lot of people have it's education.
Yes.
People, when they rescue a dog, especially a puppy, they don't realize what they're in store for. And when they realize the amount of work that it takes, the dedication it has in doing and giving it the things it needs, the training.
That's it.
I mean, they go, well, this isn't for me. And my worst is around Christmas when somebody adopts a puppy because they want it under that tree for Christmas, and then 3 months later they realize how much work that pup is. Then they realize, well, this isn't for me.
Right.
Or even during when we had the COVID. A lot of people were running out because they were home from work. I'll get a dog, it'll keep me company. They go back to work and it's goodbye dog. And at that time, I remember the shelters were just inundated with nice, good, solid dogs that people just didn't realize what they were getting into.
Right.
And that's one of the things that really irked me the most. When you adopt a dog, to me, that's a commitment for life.
It absolutely is.
That dog it's a living, breathing thing. I don't understand people, how to do it. I think lack of education with people when they adopt a dog, to let them know what they're getting into before they say yes and sign that paper.
That's it. And that's why with all the rescues out there, they try to educate people. Adopt, don't shop. You want that prize poodle puppy that you pay thousands of dollars for from the pet store. And there are pet stores out there that will finance you for a $10,000 dog.
Exactly.
Which is ridiculous. We've heard of horror stories like that.
And there's so many dogs that need a home in shelters. Good dogs.
And there are dogs in shelters that still have thousands of dollar balances that people no longer have the dog but are paying for years because they weren't ready for that. They just weren't ready for that commitment.
Well, it's a commitment. You're exactly right. You know, and moreover, I think that if these shelters would I don't want to say educate the people more.
Yeah, the people need to understand.
How well do they screen these people, though, Lonnie?
Well,
you would know
a rescue screens, I mean, it is, in all fairness, and it should be hard to adopt an animal from a rescue because every rescue will take a dog back. For whatever reason, if it doesn't work, they will take it back to find another home. Versus if you buy from a pet store, there's no taking it back. So then those are the pets that end up in the shelters.
Right.
Most shelters are the high kill shelters or the kill shelters, you know. My wife and I used to be involved with the DuPage County Animal Care and Control, and they are, for years and years and years, there were no kill due to lack of space.
Right.
If there's an animal that's a threat to themselves or a threat to others, regrettably, euthanization has to be considered. It has to be on the table. It has to be. Okay, but many shelters have to euthanize simply for lack of space.
You know, and that's what hurts me is that just because, you know, when somebody brings a dog in and they're going to give that dog up, it's the total misconception of, you know what, I can't really take care of this dog anymore. I'm going to take it to a shelter, and they're going to find it a good home. They're going to find it a little kid to play with it. They're going to find it backyard.
They lie to themselves.
You know what I mean? And all these false premises that what this dog is going to do by surrendering it to a shelter, and it's so far from the truth because when they bring that dog in, the shelter's already going through the back room to say, okay, who's been here the longest, who's unadoptable, who's the sickest, that's the one we're going to euthanize and make space for the one we just got in.
Yep.
How cruel is that?
And then the longer that a dog stays in the shelter,
the less chance it has.
The less chance they start to feel depression. You know, new dogs that make it into the shelters when someone comes through that's looking for a dog, you know, they're at the gates there trying to meet, trying to see, you know, and then as the dogs, they get depressed. And then those dogs are the next up on the board for euthanasia.
Right, and that's the sad part. That's just the truth and the reality of it all. Also, are there a lot of veterinarians that will work with shelters because, you know, let's face it, you just went through a hellacious outlay of cash for Caputo's teeth.
Yep.
You know, now, fortunately, we're able to get that done through your means, but... You know, are there veterans that will work with, you know?
So every shelter, every adoption agency, they have veterinarians that they work with. That's correct. Right. Some have multiple, not unlike K9s. You know, what we have for our dogs, we have multiple vets that will work with us because our service dogs are spread all around. You can't expect all of them to come to Oak Lawn, let's say, you know, whatever. So yes, every rescue has a veterinarian that they work with. A lot of the animals that are in shelters and rescues make it to the low-cost spay-neutering clinics that are out there to try to help with costs. So yes, every rescue that I know of has at least one or two vets that work with them.
Well, they're
partners.
They have to have it.
You have to, right.
Because you couldn't really afford paying full boat.
Right.
For these medical services. And I'll tell you, veterinarians aren't cheap. I mean, at K9, we provide the dog, we provide the training, we provide free food and free medical for that dog.
I know that
you know, sometimes I get a call and I'm going, whoa, are you kidding me? You know, and it could really set you back. Yeah. So, and they want their money now.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and if you don't have the money now, they'll give you a credit card.
A care credit.
What do they call it? Care credit?
Care credit, yeah, I know.
Care credit.
Yep. Yeah. So the veterinarian, the specialist that did Caputo's full teeth extraction, they gave us the rescue discount.
Okay.
So we were able to take advantage of that. Plus, we did a small fundraiser through the rescue because they had to do it in 2 stages, but it was still in excess of $5,000.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, how does the average person? I mean, I could see people that if that was just happened to be a medium income family that had that kind of thing happen. How do they support that? How do they?
You put it on a credit card with 22% interest, or yes, please.
Yes, get Caputo.
Caputo. Put your head up here, bum. Caputo.
Caputo.
Come here, boy. Come here, boy. Come here, boy.
Oh,
This is our boy Caputo. Here he is.
what a sweetie.
There he is up there. There's the camera. Say hi, Poobo. He's my boy.
He's a good one. You're a keeper. Now that you got a forever home.
And a job.
Feel good.
And a job. He goes to work every day.
He does,
every
right?
single day he goes
So
to
you
work.
take him to work with you?
Every day. The dog has ridiculous separation anxiety from me. When I leave the shop for 10 minutes on a test drive, he is bouncing off the walls. He greets our customers, our parts delivery drivers every day. So this dog went from ready to be euthanized, all kinds of health problems, to in 4 months we've turned him around. And like I said, he's got a job, comes to work every day, loves everybody. He hasn't met
Oh, what a
person
sweet
that he
personality.
hasn't
What a
loved.
great disposition,
You know?
right?
And people are deathly afraid of him, and then they find out he's got no teeth, and then suddenly that makes it all better.
Yeah, right.
Have you ever been gummed by a Doberman? I don't think that is a thing. But
No.
he's a good boy.
Well, you know, the Doberman has a stigma about it.
They absolutely do.
Just like a pit bull.
Yep.
You know, I mean, it's the same type of thing. I mean,
Well,
it's
just
like,
today we let him out for a potty break, and there's a gentleman walking down the street in our industrial park, and he sees him, and he crosses the street to the sidewalk on the other side. Now, me personally, I love it. I love it. I mean, that's my Doberman, you know. But you know, nobody knows. You can't look at him until he doesn't have any teeth. But he is just an amazing soul.
you know, it's just you know, just that you were able to rescue this dog. He's got a totally new lease on life.
Well, he was supposed to be euthanized.
That's what I mean.
That was the plan.
You know,
They were going to take his life, and I could not imagine. Everybody says, "Oh, you saved the dog," and I didn't know I needed saving. I have 4 more dogs at home, but this dog saved me. I mean, I couldn't imagine not spending time with him. You know, he knows when I'm having a bad day, things are rough. That's what a dog can do for you.
He's got such a docile.
Yep. Which is why
all he wants to do is be petted.
You know,
and love.
For the 7 or 8 years that I've been with K9s, and I know our story, I know what we tell, but you can't really feel what a dog does for the veteran. It's a whole lot easier for me to understand now because of what this dog, I didn't know I needed saving, and the dog saved me.
You know, when our veterans get placed with the service dog, and in the beginning, they're a little apprehensive. Is this going to be for me? Am I going to be able to do this? You know, and I'll tell you, you know, after being at the training center and watching these veterans actually train with these dogs, after 2 or 3 months, oh my God, the bond that they have between the two of them, the veteran and dog, it's amazing. You couldn't get that dog away from them. You couldn't pay them to get away get that dog.
Nope.
That's the kind of bond these dogs give people.
That's it. That's exactly it.
I don't get it.
Come here, boy. Put your head up here. Come here. Say hi to people again. There they are.
There he is. There's Caputo. One of the things I want to talk about is euthanasia. You know, is you know, awareness. I mean, we have so many breeders out there that are breeding dogs, and like you said, they're selling them for thousands. When you can get a great dog, you know, from a shelter.
There are so many shelters that are overcrowded that have dogs that are fully sponsored. As long as you can show that you can financially provide for your dog, you have a yard, you have a home or an apartment that's approved for animals, and that you're willing to show commitment, because it's a huge commitment. It's a lifelong commitment for the animal.
Sure.
A lot of dogs I know of, their sponsorship are fully paid for. It won't cost you a penny.
Right.
Because someone has stepped up and paid for it.
Right.
Some really nice
That's
donors.
a great program,
It
though.
is.
If you can find a dog that has some medical issues and somebody's willing to accept the responsibility of paying for those medical bills, and all you have to do is take it in your house and just be with it and nurture it and stuff like that, it doesn't get better than that. You know, one of the other things is spay-neuter. People just don't get it. That I mean, even, you know, with cats.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it's crazy.
Feral cats are a huge
I
problem.
mean, it's insanity. My ex, who was with Paws Chicago, she's now with the Humane Society. They now spent $250,000 on a traveling bus.
Oh, cool.
To
a mobile
spay-neuter.
Yep. Very nice.
Free.
Very nice. Yep.
Free.
Well, I mean, you have to, because some people just can't afford it.
Exactly, but you know, I thought that was such a great idea because a lot of people can't come in and do that, but they have a traveling bus that goes around and does. Do we have anything like that here?
Not that I'm aware of. You do have free spay-neuter clinics if you can provide prove that you're qualified for low income, things like that. Although I got to touch on that real quick. My particular vet that we use, Wheaton Animal Hospital, and there's a bunch of hospitals like it out there. They have they call it the wellness program, and you pay. They take a year's worth of shots and everything, and they divide it up into 12, and they charge my credit card, $40 a month per dog. And if you have a puppy that needs to be spayed or neutered, the first year is a little bit more money, but they factor that in. So instead of $40 a month for the first year, when you're going to get spay neutered, it's $50. So they advertise that over the year for you, which makes things a whole lot easier.
Oh yeah,
a whole lot. It's just that I have 5 of those charges coming out of my account every month. With 5 dogs.
Yeah, but you got 5.
We do have 5.
That's a lot of
four
mouths
Dobies
to feed.
4 Dobies and a pit bull. Yes.
That's a lot of mouths to feed. But you know what? How much more joy can you get out coming home and seeing all them?
You know what? You think you sleep comfortable knowing you have ADT security? Sleep in a bed with 4 Dobermans and a pit bull, and you won't have a worry in the world.
A lot of it with these shelters have to do with funding.
It is all about funding.
I mean, and all shelters are all competing for the same dollar. Now, there's one shelter in particular that I am just crazy about. They do so many great things, and you know who I'm talking about, Gina.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about
that?
So,
this is Caputo's Rescue we're talking about. It's All Those Left Behind.
Great rescue.
Out in Morris, Illinois. It is a husband and wife and some volunteers that run it. We're actually in the process of building a new facility called the Mutt Mansion for these wonderful dogs. Now, they are a sanctuary rescue. Yeah. They are a rescue where dogs go to die, with the people that can't afford medical health issues, whatever their deal is. That's why Caputo was actually headed that direction when it turned out that Caputo didn't have cancer. Caputo had no fur back in October. They thought that he was ready to go die, and all he needed was a really loving, caring home. But they do great things. We're in the process of working on the new building. We need volunteer help. Of course, we need money. We got some fundraisers planned for the near future, but we got to get the building done. So, again, that's All Those Left Behind Animal Rescue out in Morris, Illinois. You can find them on the internet. Facebook, and I'm sure there's more too. I think they even have an Instagram page. I'm not real big on Instagram myself, but sorry.
Yeah.
But the perfect example of an awesome rescue, because I wouldn't have my best friend here if it wasn't for them.
Well, I've known Gina for a number of years now, and I don't think I met, and her husband as well, a more compassionate couple that care, from their heart. It's not just a business with them, because a lot of these rescues are just a business.
This is not a business. They are so far in debt.
But am I right or wrong?
Oh, yes.
It's a business for them.
Of course it is.
And with Gina and All Those Left Behind and her husband, I've never really met a more compassionate person with more love for these animals than she has. So if you're out there and you're listening, look them up. I'm just telling you from personal experience. They're awesome.
I will tell you, and my wife and I, we did a lot before COVID, a lot more rescue transport. We would transport hundreds of dogs a year. But I'm associated with half a dozen or so rescues here in the Chicagoland suburbs, and I will tell you, at the lead of each one of these rescues is an individual or a couple like Chris and Gina.
Right.
My friends at Perfect Pooches, my friends at Hopeful Tales, at Midwest Rescue. They're one of Chicago's oldest pit bull rescue, all foster-based. Those are 3 women that would move heaven and earth for their animals.
Right.
And they're all just, behind every good rescue is a couple, an individual like Gina or a couple like Chris and Gina.
Right.
The bigger ones are fortunate enough to have big financial sponsors or get grants, and you know all too well, it's all about getting money. And if the grant is what it takes.
And we're all competing for the same money.
You absolutely got it.
You know what I mean? And we're all competing. Not too long ago, you and I, we did a food drive with Fresh Pet.
Oh, yeah.
Who was kind enough to donate a truckload, and we distributed that out to a lot of different shelters, which saves them money that they don't have to purchase that food because now they could use that money for medical bills.
Yeah, one of the big ones we did was in the middle of COVID, and I put 8,000 pounds of food in my van and drove it to all the rescues that needed it.
I remember.
Yeah,
I met you there that day. Anyway, I just got the 5-minute warning. We're about 2 minutes to go. So Loni, I can't think. Number one, being a director of K9, you have brought so much to the table. He also is the owner of Howard Productions, which is, if you're looking for a DJ, look him up on Facebook, Howard Productions. They do all our benefits and all our events for free. They donate their time to K9 for all our events, but you talk about it, they have a photo booth. Howard Productions on Facebook. Look them up.
Yeah, we'll have both of our photo booths and be DJing the gala next weekend.
Well, we're going to be, our gala is at the Marriott in Schaumburg.
Yep.
On the 17th, if you're interested in attending our first gala event, it's going to be the 17th for the gala. It's our first one. So please come out, get on Facebook, K9s For Veterans. NFP on Facebook or K9SD.org.
That's much easier.
For our website, you can get information on how you can purchase a ticket. And with that, Loni,
Michael, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for being here.
Everybody says when I talk about K9s, you can see it ear to ear smile because I love it. I'm so glad you asked me to get on board.
Oh my God!
Years ago,
having you been on was been a blessing. Right, Caputo?
He's a good boy.
He's Loni, you got to keep her here.
All
he doesn't want to do is be loved.
Love and be loved. Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Have a good night.